Evening everyone, welcome back to the channel. As you can see behind me, we're back working on the little blue Fiat here. Those of you that have seen some of the earlier videos on this might remember it's got a little bit of a ghetto short shift on it. Somebody back in Italy has just chopped the gear stick in half, 2/3, something like that, to try and give it a sportier look and a shorter throw. It hasn't worked. It was never going to work. So have a little look of this video and see how we reversed it and how I've now turned it into something that is actually much more pleasurable to shift gears in. So here is the gear stick, which is, as you can see, it's been cut off quite short. Someone's tried to make it sort of a short shift, and what they've done is, instead of being up sort of about that length, they've thought to make it shorter, they're simply going to cut it lower to the base. Problem with that is it doesn't actually make it any shorter shift. All it does is it makes it more difficult to get into gear. The throw is still the same. Actually, to make a proper short shift, what you do is you change the position of the pivot there, but we won't get into that today. So what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and extend this. It is a little bit mangled down the bottom there, but what I have is I have a piece of steel here which I've got, and I've cut to the right length and threaded the end ready for the top of the gear knob that's going to go on there. And I'm going to weld this in place here. If I weld this in place here, it's going to give me a considerably nicer sort of angle, a considerably nicer height, because it's added about 8 inches or so onto the length of that, which means if I was to hold that in there, that the throw is going to be considerably better, but we'll see how that works out once it's all kind of welded in position. So what you can see I've done here is I've clamped a piece of angle iron to the lower half of the gear stick that was already there. I've then used that to align the new piece, and I've clamped it all together there with a nice little gap, so I should be able to chuck some tack welds in there and have it hold together nicely in order for me to fully weld it around once I remove this piece here. So let's give that a go. So I chucked a little tack on there. As you can see, it's obviously relatively alright. Bit of inclusion in that weld, so I'll need to regrind that back. But I'm also going to go round and fully weld it around there. But it's certainly in place now, and is a much nicer height for shifting into gears like that. So quite happy with that. Just finish weld it and then have a look at the finished product. So what I've done is I've now done a first pass on grinding back the welds on there. It's not metal finished by any stretch of the imagination, but it is at least Keep my hand out of the light there. It is at least straight and square, and as you can see, a much more comfortable height to use. In fact, it's slightly higher than the original Fiat 500 gear stick would have been. Sits about there, the original sits probably about there, so actually it's going to make this quite a nice little car to shift around. So there we go, gear stick extended, ghetto gear shift now gone, all solidly welded in place at very high amperage, as you could see. Final little bit of metal finishing to tidy that up, and we will call that good. So if you enjoyed that short project, if you like looking at this blue car, if you like Fiat restorations, if you like classic car restorations, if you just enjoy hearing me whittering on about random stuff and my dogs and all the kinds of things that I get up to in the garage, then please give us a like, please give us a subscribe. I'm going to try and chuck more videos out this year, slightly shorter jobs, slightly quicker turnaround, just to get everything on this car and the red car all ready for the summer, so I can start getting back to some of my other projects. Till the next time, take care guys.